So today we're going to do the second part of our percentages lesson. So our first example says, on your last test you scored 67 out of 72. What was your percentage? So very similar to yesterday, we have 67 out of 72. Now whenever we have fractions, the first thing that we did is we converted them to decimals. So if I do this, if I do long division, which you can try on your own, we get 0.93. And then from there, what we were saying is, okay, well, we have 0.93, and really it's just over 1. And I want it to be over 100, so I multiply the top and the bottom by 100 to get 93 out of 100. So I want to be able to do this a little bit quicker. And so what I'm essentially doing is I'm doing 67 out of 72 multiplied by 100. This is 100%. And what I get is 93%. Okay, so this is a very similar format. I've just set it up a little bit differently. And the reason I've set this up is because for the next questions, we're going to have a little bit of a formula to go with. So what I want you to notice is that I have set up on the top the number that I get, so the amount, divided by the total, multiplied by 100%, got me my percentage. And we're going to use this for today's questions. Alright, so I'll keep that up there. Question number 2 says, suppose you want to get a score of 90% on the next test, and it's out of 40. What mark must you get? So I've got a few things. I've got 40, and I have 90%. So notice that this is the total for the test. This is my percentage. So if I use my formula up here, what do I have? Well, my total is 40. I'm going to multiply it by 100% to get the actual percentage, which is 90. Okay, now I don't know what my mark is. We can call it y if you'd like. So what I really have is y over 40 multiplied by 100 is equal to 90. Now you can do this a few ways. You could divide by 100 on both sides now. If you're not sure why I'm saying that, then remember that it's just 100 over 1. So I have 100 y divided by 40 is equal to 90. Now just like our last unit, I can multiply both sides by 40. Remember over here it's just like 40 over 1, and 40 divided by 40 becomes 1. And I get 100y is equal to 3600. Now I can divide both sides by 100. 100 divided by 100 is 1, and 3600 divided by 100 is just 36. So I end up with y equal to 36. What does this mean? I always want to finish my word problems with a word answer. I must get 36 out of 40 to get 90% on the exam. And that would be my answer. Alright, again, we're going to keep using this amount divided by total multiplied by 100 to get the percentage. Alright, so another example is 15 is 25% of what number? So again, we had amount divided by total. We multiply by 100 to get our percentage. So 15 is 25% of what number? Oh, and I forgot my n there. 15 is 25% of what number? Okay, so remember the total always goes on the bottom. So my amount is 15. I don't know the total. And my percentage is 25. So 15 multiplied by 100 is equal to 25%, and it's this number that we're not sure. We don't know the total amount. 15 is 25% of what number? All right, so again, there's a shortcut here, but if you're not sure of it, we'll just do it this way. I'm going to put that over 1, and I'm going to simplify my equation. I don't need this percentage, sorry. And we get 1500 divided by y is equal to 25. Now again, I want to get y equals to something. So if I multiply both sides by y, okay, this is like y over 1. Y is just a number. Any number divided by itself is 1. So what I'm left with is 1500 is equal to 25y. I want to know what y equals, so I'm going to divide both sides by 25. Now you can simplify this. I could simplify it by just doing 5s first and then doing it again, but notice that 25 does go into 1500 because 5 times 4 is 100. So we could simply simplify this and say that 25 goes into 1500 60 times. 25 divided by 25 is 1, and I get that y is equal to 60. Again, I want to write a word problem to finish it. So I have 15 is 25% of what number? 60. And that would be my answer. You can always check this if you want. If you did 15 divided by 60 and then multiplied it by 100, you'd get 25%. 28 is what percent of 80? So this is just like yesterday. Okay, so I have 23 and 80 are the two numbers that I'm given. This is my amount, and this is my total. So you could do it exactly like yesterday, or why don't we use the formula that we were doing? So the amount is 23 out of 80, and if I multiply this by 100, I will get the percentage. I'm not sure what 23 divided by 80 is, so I'm going to just do some long division. Now, it's not, 80 doesn't go into 23, so I'm going to put in a decimal. I'm going to grab 0, and if I multiply 80 by 2, I get 160. My leftovers are 70. I'm going to do it again. And I've got, how many times does 80 go into 700? That would be 8 times, and 640. And I have 60 remaining. I'm going to pull down another 0. And the closest I can get 80 to 600 is 560. And that was 7 times. And I have 40 left over. I'm going to do it one more time. And that would be 480 times 5 is 400. And I have 0 remaining. So I get 0.2875 multiplied by 100, which is equal to 28.75, and it is percent. If you want to put the percentage symbol in here to help you remember that, that's great as well. Alright, example 5. You got your first job, and on your first paycheck, after deductions of 32%, you earned $595. What is your pay before taxes? So I'm going to just write out the formula again. We've got the amount divided by the total multiplied by 100% is equal to your percentage. Okay, so on your first paycheck, after deductions of 32%. Okay, so this is the deductions is equal to 32%. So they took 32% off your paycheck, which means if you got all 100%, if you took 32 off, you would have had a total of 68%. So you earned 68% of your total pay. Okay, now it's really important that you actually find out how much you earn, because otherwise your percentage won't go in properly. You know that you earned $595 after deductions, so this would be our amount. Our percent, it's not 32%, it's the 68%, because it's the total that you actually got paid was $595. And we're not sure what the total amount that you would have got is. Let's call it y. So we have $595. I'm not sure what the total amount I got paid is. I multiply by 100% to get 68. Oops, percent. All right, to set this up, I can rewrite this as 595. Remember, this is over 1. Now, if you see the shortcut there, that's totally fine. 595 multiplied by 100 becomes 59,500. And you can drop the percentage symbols here if you want. There is a reason which we'll talk about more in class. And then I'm going to multiply both sides by y. Oh, I'm going to drop this percentage symbol so it doesn't confuse me. And remember that any number divided by itself is 1. So I have 595,500 is equal to 68y. I'm going to divide both sides by 68. And 68 divided by 68 is 1. And in fact, if I do this, I guess we could do long division, or we could just start slowly if we want. Notice that they're both divisible by 2, so this becomes 34. And this divided by 2 is 2, 9, 7, 5, 0. And again, I can divide it by 2 again. If I keep doing this, I end up getting y is equal to 875. Now, what is 875? If I go up here, what is your pay before taxes? So this would be dollars, which is why I accidentally put that in before we spoke about it. So your total before tax is $875.